Welcome to Sheni V'Chamishi. One of the most favored books in the Jewish collection of the Jewish library is the Haggadah. There's the Machzor, but the Haggadah goes down in the Jewish culture and heritage and museums and so on and so forth. So we're going to do a little bit of the Haggadah, of course, as a preparation for Pesach. We're going to look at the Magid, the four sons, which is the most important part of the Haggadah. Of course, that's the philosophical part. There's the rituals, Kadesh Urchatz, Karpas Yachatz. These are rituals, just laws, practices that make it into a process, a type of service. Eida is Chukim and Mishpatim. And I'm going to select a Haggadah, a 17-page Haggadah by a gentleman named Dov Ber Schwartz. I believe he's a philosopher, a Chabad philosopher. He doesn't call himself that. Let's give an example, like Rabbi Sachs, for example, calls himself a philosopher. Even Wikipedia calls him a philosopher. But he probably couldn't get a job teaching philosophy in a city college. And the reason is because a philosopher is asking questions, not hawking about history in a selected reporting way for a bunch of Jewish bubbies at a Pesach program. But a philosopher asks good questions. Neither the Chacham nor the Rasha are considered philosophers because they don't ask tough questions. They're just the Chacham is here to follow. And he demonstrates that he believes that these practices are commandments by God. They're not just religious rituals created by men. He says, So the Chacham is basically demonstrating immediately that I believe, so I'm one of you. But the point, this next point, of course, the main question is it a religion or is it a race? So the answer is we don't really know. How are you? Very nice. I'm a friend of Warren Kashuk. He said he knows you. I'm doing a preparation for the Passover Seder.
Good for you.
So there's the four sons. So I do this for Orthodox Jews because they're starting to.
You're on your Shabbat now.
I'm not. Shabbos is not yet. Can I take a selfie with you? Sundown. Sundown.
Yet?
Shabbos, you're not allowed to use the camera, but I'm not religious. I don't follow the law.
I see. Okay.
I'm in the heart. I believe what Jesus said.
Good. Good for you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too, sir. It's a beautiful baby.
Yeah, we're talking about the four sons, you know.
Good. Great.
Hat made it from me. Huge property. This is the Arnold Schwarzenegger's church, and that's the guy that talks in the. If you are of a different tradition, come forward, and we'll give you the bread and the Christ and Eucharist and thus and yens. So, yeah, he doesn't like me. I give him too many sfeikos in his emunah. So, I mean, he likes me, but uncomfortable. I make him very naturally. I just talk philosophy. So anyway, the vart is that just met one of the most famous deacon, the hyped galachem, but he's not an anti-Semite, and that's what's important. This church doesn't. This is not a pogrom ground, or it's not a. They have a lot of things to have to catch up on. Like this church across the way has supports gays and has a flag, a colorful flag. Some people, oh yeah, you see the flag? I think that's the flag that supports it. Yeah, the rainbow flag. You'll see it across the street, right? Because there you go. And that's a Lutheran church, very open-minded. And the Catholic is going to catch up. It's just going to take maybe 500 years, but they'll catch up, I promise. So, so we have the four sons, and then we speak about the fact that they don't ask tough questions, and they're not free thinkers, and they're not doubters. They're not atheists. Back then there was no such thing. But back then, theology was the queen of the sciences. So what do we have? We have whether or not you're lefisha haitzias atzmei mina klal kafar be'iker. The Rasha says, I'm not. This is you guys. And the Chacham says, tell me what to do, which is the best thing to do when you're in any Orthodox system today. In a modern city, even if you go into the most zealot shuls in Yerushalayim, if you want to just have them feel like you're a good guy, just say, what should I do? And pretend you're naive, of course. It will always do you good, but always be smart. Because being naive is terrible. Pretending you're naive is great. So the Rosh's, he says, I'm not part of the group. And then the rituals is just to keep the people separate from their oppressors where they live. So you're a guest in someone's land and you're, second-class citizen. So all these rituals keep you separate and together. So we'll continue soon.